Oh, Findom. How is Findom gonna change your fucking life? Ooh. Let's see. Yeah. How's it gonna change your life, baby? We got all the tips and tricks in this bitch. We're gonna teach you how to fucking femdom that shit up. Ooh. Let's take a look at. Ooh, if you look up Findom on YouTube, look at, you got all this. Everything you need to know. Findom, femdom. Introduction 101. Why is Findom coming before Fendom? Is that just a part of femdom now? Is Findom? Well, wow, that's great. How to manipulate him to send you money. Findom. Findom tricks, tips, do's and don'ts Q&A, baby. Let's go. Cash slaves inside the dystopian fetish of financial. Well, that doesn't sound very positive. Vice. Fucking Vice. What they won't tell you about financial dominations. Is it right for you? How to earn 6 figures. Findom chit chat. How I drain subs. How to get the most out of your Findom. Yeah, baby. You guys like Findom? All you need to know about financial domination, baby. Let's go. It's the Findom stream. I'm gonna get that fucking link out. Mainly, I've just been talking to you guys. All 5 of you. And all the ones that are watching the VOD right now. It's a special moment between me and you, but I gotta tell the rest of these motherfuckers. I gotta let them know so we can get this stream started. So let's do it. Ooh, how's Findom gonna change your life? It'll make it sweet like a fucking Oreo. Findom is the creamy filling on the inside of that fucking Oreo. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh, Oreo. Uh-oh, Findom. Let's fucking go. I'm gonna be talking to RubySpacek, who I met yesterday. Well, I met her a while back. I talked to her yesterday. And we were like, let's do a stream. First thing I asked is, okay, have you ever done Findom? And she said, yes. Wow, thank you, Bad Horsey. Thank you for the gifted memberships, and I'm able to see it through Restream. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships. That means a lot. I'm totally dominating you. You are the best pay pig in the world, baby. Bad Horsey, you're a good horsey today. Enjoy all one of your emotes. Should probably make some more of those. So yeah, I've been wanting to talk to somebody that's done Findom. Have had this idea in the back of my mind, but it's like one of these ideas where I could just like try to reach out to a random Findom woman. But if I tell her I hate Findom, did I tell you guys that I actually hate Findom? It freaks me the fuck out. And now we're gonna get into it. It's not just. I mean, there's a lot of misogyny mixed into that one. But if I just find a random Findom mistress lady, then she's not going to want to fucking have me scold her and freak out at her. But I was talking to RubySpacek, who has done Findom. I don't know any more than that. And we got along in a way where I can fucking be a wild, ridiculous asshole. And she'll be a wild, ridiculous asshole to me too. So it'll work. She's getting her eyelashes on and waiting for her hair to dry or something. Yeah, I don't want to be like a fucking predator hunter type thing. I don't want to entrap a Findom lady. Because in the end of the day, aren't all women Findom ladies? Under the patriarchy? Work it, girl. If your man don't make 6 figures, you don't got a sick figure. Okay. She's just setting up her cam. We're going to be using StreamYard. So, I'm going to bear with me while I shut up the visual. I don't use it a lot. Get that fucking sorted out and we'll get the fuck into this conversation. Yeah. And no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure that this stream stays on rails. I'm going to make sure that I do the fucking cooking by the book.
You gotta do the cooking by the book.
Yeah. Okay. You always pay one way or the other. Yeah. If you're a man. Because you got that little tiny puny little sperm. Nothing. It's nothing compared to the great mighty awe of the fucking egg. You gotta compete. You gotta prove you're worth something. Ink and chat. Why on earth did you have that prepared? What? I don't know what you're talking about. My sperm's so small. My sperm's so small. My sperm's so small. I gotta do 500 push-ups before a woman have sex with me. I gotta make 7 figures, 8 figures. My sperm's so small. I gotta make 9 figures to get it in. I'm all out of Oreos. It's not that good. It's like some kind of fucking Oreo with brown filling. Yo. Okay. Let's wait for this fucking wonderful guest. She did her makeup. It's gonna be good. Like a raunchy spud gun. What the fuck are you on? What the fuck? I'm back. Oh yeah, so I haven't been streaming as much lately. I should talk about that. I'm working, doing a lot of emotional work too. I'm working on this essay that's almost done called Becoming Max, multimedia interactive sort of essay. It's just gonna be good. You are going to go through a fucking roller coaster. You're gonna be having metanoia by the end. You are going to... You're never gonna look at Max the same ever again. I don't know. I don't know. I told him I feel weird and guilty. I feel like I could really have an impact on how people see him. And maybe how he sees himself. And not necessarily for the better. And I've finished most of that part. And wow, that part is a wild ride. It was really hard for me to write, and I truly had to become Max to do it. I told him I felt guilty. He said, I am God. So, there's only one thing we do with gods around here. You already have a poor opinion of Max? I already have a poor opinion of Max. You jerking him off in a tragic way about how troubled and handsome he is won't change much. Well, he giga-chatted you? I guess you could say that he giga-chatted me. I think it was a combination of... Because he didn't want to play with my game. He didn't want to play along with me. I asked him, can I have your consent to diagnose you with a mental illness? Because that's not... I could only write this about him. There's nobody else where it would be quite appropriate. And I asked him if I could have his consent to diagnose him with a mental illness and this thing that I'm working really hard on, and I'm going to promote it. And I got a fucking portrait from, like a complicated portrait from Shaylin that's going to be the big thing on the front of it. And I asked him if I could diagnose him. He said, I am God. He didn't want to play along with my consent game. He's like, you do not need my consent because I'm God and nothing you can do will ever hurt me. Just assume that it won't. I don't know about that. I don't actually think you're God. But I guess I could treat you like God in as much that I don't care about what God thinks. You know what would really expose Max? You painting something unrelated and ignoring him. Yeah. That really dropped the panties. Oh, I got that StreamYard link. Okay, let's do it here. Here we go. I gotta set this up. Settings, camera. It's gonna be that. Audio is gonna be that. And that should be good. Hello, hello. Okay, that's working. Where's the camera not working? Oh, virtual camera. Let's do that. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Let's get in there. Yo.
Yoo-hoo!
Okay. Alright, I'm live currently.
Oh, you're live?
Yeah, I'm live.
Woo, don't look! Hi, everyone.
Alright, I gotta get you up.
Alright, I'm not live yet. I just pulled up my, my thingy and set it to go live in like 5 minutes, but I can hit live whenever. I just gotta light a cigarette. Does my audio sound good? Because I'm using a new microphone for the first time.
Yeah, it sounds actually pretty good, yeah.
Really? I just got this for like $20 on Amazon, a little ding dong. I have like the worst setup ever. I look so mentally ill.
You look so mentally ill.
My setup. I'll send you a picture and you'll understand.
Oh, I've shared my setup. It's like extremely.
Oh wait, actually I could kind of show you right now. Wait, let me just do a little. So this is like I have this on a chair in a pile of garbage, in a bigger pile of garbage, with more garbage all around it, and then there's not even. I just clear off this one little space. Oops, I forgot we were live too. Whatever.
That is the Findom experience.
You could be like me. Live in squalor in your 30s. Like a real Barbie.
One of the things I did to like intro the stream, I just had on YouTube. I searched Findom, and basically every video is like tips and tricks, how to get the most out of your pay pigs. I know, like, and there's video after video after video.
Scam at this point, like.
When was it not a scam?
When it's a legitimate humiliation and power and control fetish. Money is power. How obvious is that? Of course it's a fetish. It's total loss of power to the point where, well, I mean, I guess I could just, yeah.
You are trying to sell it. You are trying to sell it to my audience.
I guess I don't know why I'm not live right now. Let me just do it. I was gonna fix my hair. Jesus Christ, Mr. On time.
I don't give a shit how much.
It's not for you, bitch.
I don't give a shit. So, have you ever done Findom?
Yes.
Fuck you.
Good. I repented for my sins. Hi everyone, what's up? This is Ruby, we are live. Stop interrupting. This is Ruby, we are live. I have Smeth. Thanks for joining me, Smeth.
I didn't pay a fucking cent for this.
Not yet, you will pay dearly. So me and Smeth, we're talking about Findom, AGP. We already started in his stream, so.
I don't give a shit how much of a power exchange it is. It doesn't.
But that's the fetish. Do you not understand that it can be a legitimate? Someone can. Who are you to judge if that people use money to get pleasure, to enjoy things, and to get objects? One way of people pay for an experience. They'll pay to go ziplining and do shit like that for the thrill, for the rush. It's the same thing with Findom. The only thing is, it's just so broken down to its core that it kind of makes people uncomfortable because they don't like the idea of anything being transactional in relationships.
It's not just that. No, okay, it's okay. There's two elements. Number one, the easy one, the obvious one is you are in a serious way contributing to people's self-harm, and the only thing that they're getting out of it. How many times are you gonna change the camera?
That was the first time. Wow. Well, I did that and that threw you off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's up, Stevie? I got a microphone. Alright, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you off. But all I'm saying is people don't like the idea of anything romantic or sexual being transactional. It makes them uncomfortable.
Well, that's
and Findom is pure transaction. There's no, like, the transaction is the fetish, which is so just like, I don't know, compact.
Yes. Okay, but also, okay, so there's two layers. Layer number one, this transaction is going to be very exploitative, and it's highly manipulative, addictive, exploitative. Basically, it is on steroids version of the feedback loop from like super chats. Like you get, it's like, yeah.
I don't think it is necessarily. I mean, here's the thing. I'm much more against sex work in general now. I don't think it's a way. I don't think it's fulfilling for women. I don't think it's fulfilling for men. I don't think it's a wise life path to go down if you want positive life outcomes, unless you happen to be like a nympho or someone who has like a very specific kind of orientation, that you're suited for that industry. That's great for you, but it doesn't represent the majority of people in those industries.
Yeah. Okay. Self-harm absolutely is self-harm. You're aiding and abetting people's self-harm. It's not a type of...
I don't see it's any worse drinking sugar.
If you are an incredibly rich man, and though this is the scenario where it wouldn't be self-harm, because I'm thinking of an extreme, right? I'm thinking of just a poor people giving some random woman all of her money, which is probably most of the case. But what if you're a super rich man and you're just giving her a little bit? Well, then it's not fucking Findom.
No, not really. But I mean, what is your like? What are we disagreeing on something? I'm
trying to lay out my two things that are bad. I'm trying to lay out my two things that are fucked up about it. Okay, so one is, I think that is definitely to be financially dominated by somebody like that. I think that honestly should go against, like, that it should be illegal to, like, we made slavery illegal. Like, you're not
it's purely consensual. I mean, as much as anything is consensual, but you can break that down. You
cannot make a legal sex contract. A sex contract won't hold up in court. But Findom is like an actual exchange of your like life, your power within society.
I don't think it's intrinsically wrong if you are someone who's financially stable and you get extreme pleasure and you have this kink that you engage in moderation. I'd view it in the same category as alcohol, sugar, weed, all those things that you do for pleasure that can be done to excess. I categorize all porn and sex work in that genre of morality for me. God. Where I think some people do need a release and a companion and have specific needs that their girlfriend or wife might not be willing to fulfill, in which case maybe the wife agrees, hey, if you have this need and you want to go like give this chick $500 once a week or whatever, like, yeah, it's fucking weird, but it's a free country, and if that is what brings someone happiness, there's a lot of things that bring people happiness that I don't understand. It's not really something we should legislate.
Yeah, I don't think that it's Findom. If you are hyper like rich and you just give her a little bit of your money, that doesn't make any difference. That's just being a sugar daddy. That's not Findom.
Well, there's more to Findom, and this is the thing people really don't get. It really, a lot of times, is going hand in hand with another fetish. When I did Findom, it was often alongside a blackmail fetish. So they would tell me some personal secrets about their life, and then when they wanted me to, and it was all highly talked out beforehand, I would role play making threats to get money from them, and they loved this, and it went on for a while, and then it fizzled out, and they probably moved on to some other Findom. But then I also have had people it was a huge issue for, which is why I stopped doing it, period.
I don't like I'm all for role play making threats, but I don't like it when there's actual money involved. It really changes it from a role play into not a role play.
Well, yeah, and that's what makes it even more exciting. But like,
yeah, but so isn't like fucking rape exciting?
What's wrong with spending to do a role play?
But like, so isn't rape?
Is it wrong if I hire someone to impersonate a sexy pirate?
Yeah, it's not just pretending to be a role play. I'm saying when you actually are exchanging big chunks of your financial stability to someone else, it's no longer just a pretend. Like, it's no longer a pretend blackmail.
If someone is doing it. If someone's doing it to the point where it's harming them, obviously I would be against that. All I'm saying is there's nothing intrinsic to having this very specific fetish. It can make people vulnerable to abuse, but there's nothing about this fetish on its own intrinsically engaging it responsibly.
Yeah.
If a healthy individual is able to do that, which many aren't, I acknowledge that. But I'm just saying, it hypothetically is no non-issue.
There's no ethical consumption of symptory. Okay, and that brings me...
Actually, I highly disagree, because you don't understand, it's like, the lonely epidemic is so bad that it's almost better.
Oh, fuck! No! The answer to the loneliness epidemic is not fucking Findom!
I didn't say that! I didn't say the answer to the loneliness
epidemic. It's the opposite!
I don't think that at all!
Well, then why did you fucking imply it?
All I said was, it's so sad that the state that we're in that because of the loneliness epidemic, that maybe for some old guy who's dying, doesn't have a wife, doesn't have fucking kids, he's not gonna pick up a girlfriend.
But he
he pays $5 a month to talk to some bitch on the internet, and that fulfills his life when he would otherwise be dying alone. I think that you can actually serve a utility in those jobs.
Okay, so you are saying
it's not to solve the loneliness epidemic. I would never say that. That's stupid.
But it just makes it better for the guy who is lonely because of the loneliness epidemic.
I'm not saying it's a solution. I'm just saying I believe in harm reduction. Okay, so a lot of moral positions I'm taking are with the consideration that having a more hardline position could actually be more harmful than allowing a little nuance.
Allowing Findom, like Findom will make loneliness worse. And okay, that brings me to point 2. Okay, so point 1 is that it's unethical because of the domination of someone else financially is just something that should not be illegal. If that's your kink, that's a problem. That's like being into eating shit. Eating shit can be bad for your health. But it's like worse than eating shit. It's like way worse than eating shit.
So you think it should be illegal?
Yes.
Like your position.
Yes, it's like being if you're a pedophile, you can't fuck kids, and if you
that's highly different because we allow consenting adults to do things in the privacy of their own home.
Rape fetish. If you want to actually rape people, you can't rape them. Yeah.
Love rape fetish.
I mean, no, I'm saying to be the rapist, like that, if someone has a rape fetish and then you rape them, it's not really rape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. It's
okay, but I'm saying if my fetish is to go out and rape people that are not consenting, then I can't do that. Because that would be harmful to them. If my fetish is to cut off my own dick and eat it, I should not be allowed to do that.
Well, that would be a line that I draw. But when your fetish is exchanging money and you just get it, I actually get a kick out of just giving people money. I sent someone $40 the other day because I got $200. And I was like, hey, let's get down to 0 right away again. When I go to the strip club, it's raining money because it's fucking fun. Fuck off. Don't be a fucking Karen.
Okay. Well, I think that Karen is gonna fucking die at age 80. Whatever the fuck you're describing is gonna what you're gonna. Oh, good luck when you.
All I'm saying is that it's not. There is a utility it serves. People enjoy fetishes. There's
a utility that cutting off your dick serves.
And we allow that too legally, actually. So I'm actually, if you had to, put a gun to my head and choose between full bodily autonomy or no bodily autonomy, I'd choose full bodily autonomy, even if that meant cutting off your legs and selling them. I do think that's extreme enough that we could legislate around that. But to legislate around giving money to women, what do you mean?
Yeah.
That can't be legislated.
Being financially dominated, it's not only. Okay.
What? Write the bill.
Okay. What kind of fucking point is okay? So now, okay, I need to get into point number 2. Okay. Because the other reason that it is horrible is because I fucking hate women.
Everyone hates women.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. That Findom is the embodiment of the social.
Male femdoms.
Yeah, there's not going to be many of those. Not nearly as many.
You just don't want to cater to gay men because you're homophobic.
Findom sounds like femdom. I know
they're two different things.
There will be some fucking gay men doing it, but it is the that doesn't matter. It's still the embodiment of the social dynamic where women are the recipient of men's labor, and that's a toxic thing.
That's the natural way, though.
That is a natural way, and that's why we have society
that's why you're jealous.
That's why we have society. We have society to protect women and to protect men.
I love that.
Yeah, and so if you want what you are describing society
I feel very fortunate to be a woman.
Yeah, you're saying that society should just be to protect women and not protect men. So if we want to protect men too, then Findom should be illegal.
Men are allowed to do with their hard-earned money what they like.
No.
You know,
if we want to protect men, we can't let them like literally just be slaves.
If we want to protect men, actually what we have to do is restructure the whole fucking mental health care system, bring back the fucking institutions.
Like random tangent
and just restructure society as a whole so that it's not so alienating.
Sure, we could do whatever the fuck that is, but what I'm saying is one of the ways
what you're saying is actually more ridiculous than doing what I just said.
Than making Findom illegal.
How men give women money when that's been the whole dynamic for all of human history is men giving women money. Come on, dude.
Yes. Just like rape was the way throughout all human history. Not
since we've been civilized, no.
Yes, and so that's the way I said the point of civilization is to stop rape and to counterbalance. Oh, I'm so sorry. When you give up rape, you give up Findom. I'm so sorry about that. Oh, I'm so sorry you have to give up Findom.
Write the bill.
What the fuck does that even mean?
That? Right.
Okay, exactly.
What is the law?
It's not it's not the exchange of money.
We're arguing on like 8 different levels, and this is why it doesn't even make sense. Okay, because
you're not listening to me because you keep interrupting me.
We're looking at harm reduction. We're looking at, are we describing reality and not making moral judgments about it? Are we looking at?
Do you want to make a better society? Because your second ago, your pivot was to changing all of society. So are you for harm reduction or are you idealistic like me? Which one is it? Both. Just whatever's convenient at whatever moment. Balance. Whatever's convenient at whatever moment.
That's
typical Findom woman.
And I just glide on through.
Yeah. Oh, you want to give me money? Oh, I guess that's good because if you want to, I'll just take all your money. I
just got a job for fun, just to see what it was like. I might quit soon.
Yeah. No. Oh, I'm
just cosplaying as a poor waitress.
Yeah. Oh my God. Fuck. So we cannot let this be. So it's not just the exchange of money. It is the exchange. Excuse me. It is the exchange of money in a dominating way. So if I pay for you to give me nudes, or if I pay,
hear you right now.
You don't hear me?
Oh, you cut out for like 10 seconds or
weird.
Like 5 seconds, not even that long.
Very weird.
Yeah, I just find out. I don't know why that happened.
It is not just the exchange of money. It is the domination, the financial domination. If I pay for nudes, then.
So do you think domination like BDSM should be illegal?
Financial. I don't think BDSM should be illegal. I think financial domination should be illegal. To dominate someone.
The domination aspect.
To dominate someone. Okay, let's get rid of the BDSM context. To dominate someone financially is textbook.
The context is so.
Why do you keep interrupting me when I make all my critical points? If you take away the bondage fucking element, if the domination of somebody financially is textbook like hardcore abuse.
Well, yeah, of course. If you were doing that in a non-consensual situation, it would be abuse. Just like if someone came up to me and choked me and it wasn't during sex consensually, that would be very different. You can't just remove the context when it is so critical to what we're describing.
BDSM, you are simulating abuse and you're doing things. When some forms of BDSM become abuse, lifestyle kinks can become abuse. Financial domination is probably one of the most extreme possible versions of a lifestyle kink beyond becoming a toilet slave.
No way. Wait, why? I'm curious, what is your education and perception been on this topic?
I have done a lot of lifestyle kink play in my lifetime.
Well, like it specifically with Findom. I'm just curious.
I've never done Findom. It horrifies me.
But where are you getting your information that's feeding this perception you have that it's like the worst thing besides being a human toilet? Because I'm not even trying to be.
You should not be able to.
This is pro sex work. I'm just pro reality.
Okay, so like if you are financial,
Stephen Molyneux with the late and great.
Without the BDSM element, without the BDSM element, if you are financially dominating your partner, that is a recipe for like that. If you take that to court, you can like get your fucking way because they're abusing you. If you
if it turned into something that wasn't consensual, I think that any adult, if they get ecstatic pleasure from being abused, and that's how they want to spend their preciously finite life, in pleasure, and they happen to get it in this weird way.
Right.
I don't think that's wrong.
I think you should be able to do that.
Does it look like the healthiest, most spiritually nourishing thing you can do with your life? Absolutely not. But there's no way to legislate that. That would be absurd.
I think you should be able to do that with a lot of different things, but with money, that is something that should be now part of the domain of like the government. You're not supposed to, if your sexual fetish is like losing all of your money and being poor so that a woman can be, so a woman can go, so a woman can,
it's about a loss of control. Here, take my debit card, exploit me, take advantage of me.
Yes, and if that is your fetish, then the government should protect you from it.
And guess what, bitch? It's called making lemonade out of lemons. And I say this to the guys who have the tiny penis humiliation. Thank God for that fetish, okay?
You should not
they're going to feel entirely inadequate. But they found a way to really embrace their tiny penis and get great pleasure from that. So I say, go for it.
So it's like, if what you just said makes no fucking sense whatsoever. So if my fetish is cutting off my penis, and that's so lucky for me because I found a way to get to turn lemons into lemonade because I can just cut off my penis and now I've got lemonade. Yay!
Well, if you have a lemonade and it's actually yay, then that's great. I don't think it would be, but I cannot legislate what another person does with their body unless it is outrageously, obviously harmful to society as a whole.
Findom is outrageously harmful to society.
It's not even that popular of a fetish. It's mostly just scam artists on Twitter that are making it seem like this big thing. They're all bots, just fucking talking to each other. Type in sugar daddy, type in Cash App, and instantly 20 bots reply to you, guys and women.
Yeah,
like it's not as big as it seems on Twitter. Trust me. It's a bunch of like little scam artists trying
I think that Findom. I think Findom is like rising. Findom is rising exponentially. I don't even know it from Twitter. I think the popularity of Findom is rising exponentially because it's the easiest way that a lonely man can access like sex.
No.
Yes. Because what women want.
On Chatterbait and talk to a model right now with 10 tokens.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you can do that.
I don't have to give her my wallet. You can actually get attention from a woman online for really cheap to free.
Yeah. But obviously, duh. But Findom doesn't feel like it's the same type of like exchange for a good. It feels like you are genuinely in a relationship with them where they are dominating you in a specific way that is your kink.
That's never how
it's like so if you want to live a lifestyle kink and like have some like weird like you want to like have a dom woman dommy mommy put you in chastity, it's not going to be easy for you to find a woman to do that. It's hard work. I know from experience. Not all, like so. But if you want to, if you want a woman to dominate you in a way that feels real, where you're not just like paying a sex worker for like a day, like you want like a real a real experience. Any man has access. Every man has access to that experience with Findom. Oh, just pay her, and all women see like so. In society, men are.
As someone who's been in the industry for over a decade, you are severely misinformed on how these transactions
I'm talking about the man side. I'm talking about how it feels to be a man.
You've never done it.
I'm talking about how it feels to be a lonely man. I've paid for nudes.
Me too.
Okay. So until I let someone financially dominate me.
I haven't actually. That was a total lie. I just totally haven't.
until I let someone financially dominate me, I cannot have an opinion. Or until I financially dominate someone.
No, you can
so if we were talking about rape.
Listen, I am just saying that maybe you could learn something from me as someone who's actually been in the industry. What you're describing doesn't describe my experiences. In any experience in the minority that I did sense it was an issue, I cut them off from that service. And that's how every woman I know
you're not
who is
talking
a good person handled it in industry.
Sure, you're not talking about
women who
Yes.
will exploit men deeply, and it's horrible.
You
and I
are
condemn
not
that.
talking. What I am saying is that every man has access to this because, so he can have like a real feeling. It feels like a real. She is into the same thing I'm into. Like she is actually dominating me in a lifestyle way. It's like we are aligned in a sexual way. This is not just like a fucking sex worker. We are really in it. We're really in it. And so let me fucking finish my fucking point. So any man has access.
I would if you let me share my points, which are more
Why don't you
interesting and
wait
informed.
until I finish my point, and then I'll let you give your point, so you can inform me after I fucking finish saying something. So,
okay,
so you can get that. Every man has access to that. All he needs is money. It feeds into all the worst like parts of the patriarchy type shit. It's just by default what men are good at or good for is just being a fucking walking paycheck. And if you are a rich man, you will be way more attractive to women.
Against that.
If you are a rich man, or a rich woman, to men like me, you'll be more attractive. But to a lot of men, you won't. If you're a rich man, you will be more attractive to the vast majority of women.
That's actually a turnoff to me. But I know it's broadly speaking, women do want someone who is competent and can provide for them in a family.
They just want fucking money, and so
that's not true. Women want love more than anything.
So men are just so desperate to get validation to give women what they want. That is what men, because men, as a little tiny small gamete, you have to fight for the attention of women. So you just by being a pay pig, you found the opportunity to. I finally can give a woman what she wants, and she'll let me give it to her. She'll let me give it to her. I've succeeded as a small gamete. I'm gonna burst a load. No, we need to protect men from that. Just like we are protecting in society, protecting the large gametes from rape from us, from the men. We should protect the men from having to like go through that. That's such a fucked up world to live in.
Okay, but that unfortunately, the world is beyond fucked up in so many darker ways than that. But I agree.
Illegal.
It's not ideal, but what I would argue against is outlawing it. I wouldn't even encourage it because I view it, a lot of these really intense fetishes, I view in the way I've seen it affect men is similar to the way that like fentanyl affected me, where it becomes an addiction and a pathology that ruins them. That does happen, and I'm against it, but I just would not legislate anything around it, and I wouldn't morally condemn anyone on either side of that situation unless it was someone knowingly exploiting another, in which case I would entirely condemn any woman.
That would be all Findom.
So you think I was like that?
Yeah.
I'm telling you I wasn't. So you think I'm lying?
No, I'm saying definitionally by my definition. I wouldn't throw you in jail. I like you. You got spunk. I like that I can scream at you. I was telling my chat before we came in here, I was like, it's been hard for me to find someone to talk to about this because I know it'll be like, I don't want to just like scream at someone and make them...
I get hyped up too, and I enjoy getting hyped up.
I like you, and I wouldn't throw you in jail, but yeah, I do think that was exploitative.
I know, well, and I actually... When I was psychotic, the first thing I did was I made a post on the Jordan Peterson and the No Fat boards. And I said, I am so sorry. I had this really profound, like I was crying, profound spiritual like experience. And I was just saying, I am so sorry if I ever exploited your loneliness. Like, I know how horrible that feels. And I'm so sorry. Like, I had this very like genuine apology. And it went like semi-viral, and I got like a lot of love back for it, So it's something that's been on my mind, that what I view it is I viewed myself as someone perhaps with the ethical status of like a drug dealer who's also addicted to drugs, But even in the midst of that, I did really try to be cognizant of not ever exploiting anyone, because consent and honesty is always like very important to me.
Findom is sexy because of everything I said.
I never got any
illegal.
kind of kick out of it. For me, it was like transactional.
No, yeah, but that's because you're the one getting the money.
Because honestly, I had one client in particular who I saw the fetish get out of control, and I stopped it like after that, and have been weaning myself out of that industry entirely, aside from like a handful of sugar daddies here and there. But
race play is fine.
Who doesn't?
Findom is not. Race play, Race play is the embodiment of a social problem in a fetish. A lot of black people, a lot of black men are into race play. Okay, but it's okay because there's no permanent effects. If a white woman calls you the N-word, then like that's not going to last. That's not going to like. It's not like you are now like branded like with a fucking thing on your forehead. But giving somebody like a big chunk of fucking money is like a harm that's been done to them. So I think that when a social problem gets like compacted into like something like that's not and this is a big social problem, and it's something we need to protect men from. And I think that horny men are absolutely the most exploited class. They should be a protected class because horny men are retarded and the most by far exploited class in all society.
I wouldn't say by far the most exploited, but I would agree that a horny man is a vulnerable man because it intoxicates you in a way similar to any psychoactive chemicals. You lose your ability to reason with
the
yourself.
Shit that I've done when I'm
choices.
Horny, I've done unspeakable things.
I know. I've seen people ruin themselves, ruin families. Like, it is a powerful experience. I do think a lot of women aren't empathetic. I think I can relate to it more because through doing drugs, there's certain drugs that increase your sex drive to the point where I was like, whoa, I kind of understand being a guy, just being like, I'll stick my dick in anything. Like I got to that level on drugs. Luckily, no one was around, so I didn't stick my dick in anything, but, you know, I could get there mentally to the point where I was like, it was annoying to me when I was trying to look on Twitter to fight with people, and I kept seeing sexy boobs and butts turning me on, you know? And I was agitated that I had no control over the situation. And that was relentless. Everywhere I go is sexualized, even like a cartoon. It's all too sexy.
Skill problem. This is okay. I've gone on Tinder dates with women who are starting testosterone. Okay, they're starting to be a trans man or whatever. And I've talked about this. Like I've always been like, when I learned that, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm taking advantage of you. No, I even though I like you, it's not. And plus, your body's gonna change, and that doesn't feel fair to me. But it makes them super horny, and yeah, it's like skill issue. I fucking just jerk off and then live with like.
No, because you don't understand. Like I would jerk off. I have jerked off for over 16 hours in a row. To the point where I was physically in pain.
Well, you've had serious addiction problems, right?
Stop thinking about whatever you're thinking.
I was thinking.
I have had serious addiction problems, but when I was using, and like amphetamines or crack or any of those kinds of like uppity things, it does increase your sex drive a lot, and then you're not sleeping and you're up for days, and you can really hurt yourself. And watch a lot of porn where I'm like, wow. I just watched some like 18-year-old crackhead get railed and she was crying at the end, and I feel very bad now. Yeah. So all I'm saying is that made me more empathetic to the male experience. That's the moral of the story. That's why I'm saying any of this.
The choppers are coming.
Can you hear him?
Very empathetic to the male experience.
Well, do you think not?
But Findom is okay.
What do you think I mean when I say okay? I'm not saying this is beneficial to the male or the female. What I'm saying is that I would not take any kind of moral judgment on anyone who engages in those things. I'm not saying no. And I also would not ever attempt to legislate transactions between men and women, because that creates a whole host of issues, and it would be completely impossible to legislate. So it's a complete.
Because it's impossible. I don't believe that, but there's a couple of things. Okay, I don't think we should shame the men that do it, and I don't think we should shame the women that do it either, because they're both just doing what's natural. That's just, they're doing what society's telling you to do. Get paid by men, give women money. Everybody wants you to give women money. Everyone wants women to get money from men. All women want to get money from men. All men want to give their fucking money to women. So neither of them should be shamed. We should just like not like protect them. And I guess you have a libertarian approach to this. You know, they're coming to get you. I can hear it right now. For being I
actually do have a lot of helicopters nearby. I live near a hospital, not self-docs. But
well, I hope you don't get a. I'm your Findom now. Give me all your hospital money.
This has not been very lucrative for me. Come on, super chats, JK. I'm completely demonetized. It's just a passion project, man. What's going on in your mind? I feel like I lost you.
I don't know. You're good at losing me.
All right, trash the Findom. We're not gonna legislate it. That's dumb and retarded. Next.
Okay, why?
I'm sorry, that was rude.
All right, so I just think you have a libertarian opinion about this. Like, just.
I do, but I would draw the line at like I think like selling body parts, because I know when I was extremely desperate for drugs, I would have sold toes, fingers without a hesitation, probably. I know for a fact, toes, absolutely.
Would you have exploited men?
Actually, we tried really hard not to exploit men.
This is the thing.
But
this is the thing. If this was women, we would be like, women are being exploited. We need to protect them.
Yeah, because everyone thinks women are being exploited when they breathe.
Yeah, and men are actually being exploited, and this is like an extreme red lights, like exploitation, abuse, like financial abuse, like. And it's like, who cares? It's who cares? You can't stop it. It's the natural way.
I think what we could broadly be more, maybe get somewhere further on is like with like porn and those relationships in general, because breaking it down to one specific fetish that goes hand in hand with so many other fetishes, it's like it would be really tricky to untangle all of that.
I hate the monetization of female sexuality in general. And
true, it's not ideal, but it's also kind of the most natural thing in the world ever since we invented money.
No, yeah. Okay, sure.
If you want to break it down to like,
it's not.
The woman is the egg, the man is the sperm, and
it is not
the
love.
egg sits back and lays the fucking egg. And
it
the
is
sperm
a
goes out
it's a substitute for love.
True, and that's why I have done more streams talking. I did a very long stream with Fairy Queen, who's against sex work, about all the dark, horrific things I've seen in this industry, because I do think it's been glamorized. So now I speak out against it. I think it was a horrible choice for me to make when I was young. Brain not even fully developed, decided to put my nudes on the internet, and once it was out there, it was out there. So it was like, well, it's out there, but now there's thousands of videos of me doing all kinds of weird shit somewhere. And I just have to live with that. And I have to live with like the consequences. I have like a stalker who found some nudes and has threatened me with them and knows my family. So it's like there are consequences, and I've felt them. But the biggest consequence for me was the fact that I wasn't doing something with my mind or my spirit. It was completely robotic, transactional sexuality. I mean, there was fun elements to it.
Don't you say that about your pussy.
It was not. I was in a really dark place when I was a cam model full time. I became agoraphobic, and I think this happened to a lot of young models, and you can't relate to the people around you anymore who have normal jobs. You can't talk about it with most people. Even if they're open-minded, they don't understand the experience. It's extremely isolating.
Yeah, but the isolating part, the rest of it, I'm not gonna like. Oh yeah, obviously that's horrible. The isolating part, I don't think that's fair. That that part is just if the only thing that's wrong with it is that it's isolating, then we as a society need to get the fuck over it and stop treating them like shit. Other than that, like the other shit.
Well, no, that's absolutely not the only thing. I also don't think it's serving society in any beneficial way. I view it as, like I said, drug dealing. Like, I could hate my drug dealer because to an extent, yes, he was giving me fentanyl. I could have died, you know, but I also empathize with the drug dealer because I knew he didn't have many options in his life. And it's really hard to be, 40 years old and turn your life around, when you have like 7 kids too. Like,
here's my problem. Here's my problem.
I'm pro nuance.
When you say that, I feel like it's just thought terminating. But anyway, my problem.
Oh, thought expanding. It's the opposite of thought terminating.
When you, fuck, my thoughts have been fucking terminated.
See, you brought that on yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that there are a lot of the thing. I'm very much, I would say very libertarian in what I think people should be allowed to do and what we shouldn't judge people if they are doing, because life is very complicated and very hard, and it's kind of dark to think, but like, when I see a homeless person on the street and I know like if I give them money for drugs, or if I give them money, it's going to go for drugs. But sometimes I do it anyway because I think that's the only comfort in their life right now. And that's really fucked up. But that's the reality that we're in.
Yeah,
so I don't agree. In the same moral standing, but I wouldn't put it in the same legal standing as drug dealing.
I don't agree with that moral philosophy or axiom where like harm reduction, like, you give the homeless person drugs because that's the only thing that is good for them in their life. No, I think just
because they literally. You can have a fantasy about how fucking easy it is to get clean, but it's actually really hard, especially when you're a homeless person.
I didn't say that. It is very hard.
Not like a privileged white girl like me.
I think it is very, very hard, and I think that the harm reduction shit makes it a lot harder.
No, and the harm reduction is saving fucking lives. Methadone saved my life, and people shit all over that. Okay, you're out of your depth on this.
I don't. Okay, so without the you're right. But also. And without the methadone, there is not like a good system to actually like help you. Drug addiction recovery.
$80,000 to go to rehab. You're going into a detox that's worse than jail.
And that is awful. But even the rehabs don't work, and the actual recovery rate is very low, which makes you don't give up. Don't give up what you have now because you.
I know. I actually was offered drugs the other night and I politely declined. So.
Good.
I know. I'm feeling.
It's incredibly unlikely that people don't stop, and that's because I think that we completely tackle addiction completely wrong.
What ways do you think we do it wrong?
Okay, addiction.
I agree, but I'm just
addiction is a personality type. Once you become addicted to a substance, this is my personal. Once you become addicted to a substance, your brain, your personality revolves around that addiction. So if you go to rehab, like a really fancy rehab, and what they do is they take away the drugs entirely from your life, and they're like, this is how you can live and you can function, and we'll teach you like coping mechanisms for not having it and shit. Once you go back out into the real world, you're going to see the drugs and you're going to just do it again because it's part of your personality. So what I think should be the case is
not necessarily.
I think that's 90% of the
still, but that 10% is a profound amount of people that matter.
It's not enough.
So even if that is our,
I'm trying to tell you,
obviously there needs to be more research.
That's not good enough. That sucks.
No,
it's 90%. It's 90%. It's 90% for the first.
If it's only saving 10%, then I would say rehab is still worth it.
It's 90.
If it only saved
it's 90%. It's 90% for the first like 2 years, and then for like I don't know if it's like 2 years or 1 year or something. It's like a period of time, and then relapse is like 98%. After
but that
like a
doesn't
bigger
mean that the recovery, like I relapsed.
I want to finish the way that I would treat it is, so instead of going to rehab and you take away all of their drugs and you don't have, like, you teach them how to function in a world where there are no drugs. I think when you go to rehab, there actually should be drugs there, and you should like, so if you go to rehab for crack, like, there should be crack there. And
that would be great.
They're supposed to teach you how to not smoke it and how to associate smoking it with the negative outcomes that. So the negative outcomes of the drug use become something that is part of your life that just like if you're a victim of abuse, you end up seeking out more abuse. The negative, like the shitty situations you find yourself in when you're a drug addict become, because I've known drug addicts, they're like, I loved the depths that I would go to. That was exciting. I missed that.
It is. Yeah, I can get that.
You need to learn how to associate the pain of that with the drug and in a new way that we're not teaching people that in rehab. So the way I would do it is probably completely different.
Well, how long would that rehab program be?
Like a couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, that's what really it takes is long-term programs, which are often very expensive. But like if you go to rehab and go into sober house and get in a program, like there are a lot of people who recover, you know. It's really unfortunate that right now it's actually fucking hard, and it's been a huge struggle for my family. 3 out of 5 family members are addicts. So we've had many attempts at going into rehabs and detoxes where when you're an addict and you're ready to get clean, you're ready today. I need to go today. I'm in withdrawal today. I need medical attention today. And then you have to call 800 fucking places, whip out your fucking insurance info that you don't even have because you're too broke, and then pay probably $60,000, you know, if you want to go anywhere that isn't absolute fucking hell. Like, it's I forgot where I was going with that, but it's
it sucks.
The options available are hard to get in, and they're horrible. One of my rounds of like trying to get clean a couple years ago, I went to like 3 different detoxes, and I broke out of each one in a frenzied state of absolute like torture. Like it was very dramatic each time, and these places were horrific. And I just remember the stench of just human vomit and diarrhea when you're fucking detoxing, shaking. They won't even give you a fucking Tylenol.
And you're associating, then you're learning to associate not being on the drugs with just a fucking awful environment and everything too. Like,
exactly. That's why it's so important to get long-term, so you can see. For me, I didn't really start enjoying sobriety until like 6 months in, and I'm not even sober. I still drink sometimes, and
you said that you smoked weed,
but I smoke weed and I still drink, but that feels very sober to me compared to smoking crack and doing fentanyl all day. I feel like very shiny and sober and clean right now.
Yeah. Yes.
And they're not my drugs of choices, so I don't like. I've had a bottle of vodka in my room for like 3 weeks. It's not my drug of choice, really.
The weed is.
But I like having the option because it's really hard to be full on sober. It can be rewarding, but it's just really hard, especially, you know, when you still want to be included socially and everything revolves around going to a bar or a show or whatever. It can make sobriety. For a long time when I was hardline sober, I would isolate. That was the only way I could maintain full sobriety, was if I removed myself from every tempting situation, you know.
Yeah, and that sucks. And then a lot of people, I think the way rehab works and the way we do it, people, their solution is just stay super busy, because because if you stay busy, then you're not going to have the thought because you're thinking about something else. But that's not a good solution to me, because like that, you need to be able to look into the abyss, and that's what I think.
It's just not possible for everyone. I mean, I think the best bet for the fentanyl crisis right now is maintenance medication. I was clean for 8 years on Suboxone, you know, like I was totally fine. And then the second I went off Suboxone, I happened to reconnect with an ex who did fentanyl, so that was very unfortunate. And since then, I've been on methadone, and I've been doing really well.
It's always the case. It's always fucking exes and shit. I hear that a lot.
I don't even have that many exes, you know?
Yeah, but I just know so many people, men and women, they just, I'm like, why do you keep these people in your fucking life, dude? What the fuck? And,
well, my best friend was an ex from, like, over 10 years ago, and then, who else? Oh, and then I had joint custody of my dog for 7 years with my ex.
I've watched so many people. I've watched probably 5 people in my lifetime become clean and like rise out of like a hellish existence and then they're happy and they're functional and they're doing good, and as soon as they're doing good, their ex comes back into their life, and then they're like coming by, and
relationships can bring. I've been brought down by
that
a couple
person
men before, so
that person needs to disappear forever from your life, I think.
Well, it was a total fluke that we reconnected, you know. So I'm not around these substances, and I'm not seeking them out. The only drug I crave is like crack, because I'm on methadone, but that doesn't really, like, and that's the only thing I did relapse on. Like I guess it was a few weeks ago. I like got blackout drunk and then just walked into the night and found crackheads and bribed them to take me to their crack dealer, and ended up at some crack house till 8 a.m. and it's very unfortunate. But that's the only drug that like I wasn't getting shit-faced me like, where am I gonna find fentanyl, because I know that's just instant death. Crack is instant financial ruin and humiliation and embarrassment, but
I think
and also potential death. But
I see what happens to drug addicts the way I look at what happens to men who are addicted to Findom or have a Findom fetish.
I see those similarities, and I flirt with the idea of being like pro legalizing all drugs to an extent, you know. Or at minimum decriminalizing, but if there was a way to control the quality and strength, because that's what's happening is, you know, and thank God I was not a big on needles, you know. It was not my preferred method, but a lot of junkies overdose because they don't know how strong the bag is. They get a different stamp this time and get, you know, car fentanyl. It's not regular fentanyl. Like, they just keep making it stronger and stronger, mixing it with xylazine and other animal tranquilizers.
Yeah.
People are dropping dead. There was, I think, 20 people died in my neighborhood just in the last few years. My neighborhood, my few block radius.
Yeah.
20 people. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. So, you know. And Stevie says, you didn't get addicted to it when you last tried it, so it wasn't a complete relapse. See? So I still feel like I can say I've been clean for like 9 months. Because my main thing was the fentanyl, not even the crack. Have you ever struggled with addiction?
Me?
Yeah.
Not drug addiction. I've done a lot of weed edibles. I guess at points you could say it was an addiction. But, that's not that bad compared to...
Well, your drug of choice seems to be like sex and fetish.
No, I bet that those have never been... I never have... That's always
but
been
they never
within
got
my...
out of control.
Yeah, it's always been within my control. If it's ever out of your control, it's a problem.
Yeah,
like,
I would agree with that.
So in a Findom situation, I would have like less of a problem with it if I imagine it like you have a safe word, and when you give the safe word, you get all your money back. But that's not how it's gonna work. I
think that actually would be a good, a good in between of our two positions.
But that would go against them. Why would women do it?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because you're thinking that no matter what, a man can't truly consent to this. I'm operating under the assumption that there is a man out there who could potentially consent to doing this in a moderate way, and that would be a good safeguarding tactic.
I don't care about him.
Find something to get all the money back. I would do that.
I hate him. I don't care about him. I think that so the difference between ethics and morality is what do you think is right and wrong. Ethics is if you do so. If I whoop out. Let's say that this is like not a stream. We're just having a conversation. I whip out my dick. All right. The first time I've ever met you, and maybe you're cool with it. Ethics is like if there's a decent chance that you're going to cause harm to somebody. Maybe that's like a weird example. Let's say you know like it, whatever it is. Yes, like just like slapping people on the ass in a club. It's unethical to do that, even though some women might like it, but we still don't do it because there's a good chance that you're going to cause harm to somebody. So we don't do it. And that's why I think that we shouldn't let, like Findom, the chance of harm, I think is like well above 50, like probably above 70 or 80 or like 90. Like it's almost definitionally harm. Yeah.
I guess just in my experience, I came about it, like, I kind of stumbled upon it, the fetish in general, by accident, just through going on the hashtags and looking into it and having different men request it. To me, it always seemed like a very, very specific kind of subset of a fetish that wasn't very prevalent. It actually was repulsive to most men. The idea of just giving a woman money. I don't think that turns on most men when it's that ridiculously transactional.
I think it does sort of, but it's just
tell that to all my exes.
No. I think it does sort of, but the thing is that it's so horrific, because it to think of Findom brings up a whole bunch of resentment towards women, and you're like, fuck you, I don't want to fucking do that. But that's actually what you're doing with your whole fucking life, isn't it? So you're already doing it. You don't want to admit it, but that's what you're doing. So you just don't want to admit it. And the men that are into it, they're admitting it. So, but the thing is, like you said earlier, it's getting mixed in with basically every fetish, because these entrepreneurs, these young and talented pussypreneurs are fucking innovating, and it now is part of every fetish.
Really? I did not see that in my experience as someone who was in the industry. Maybe I was just inoculated from it in the way that I sift through the clients that I work with. Perhaps because I don't go for people who seem vulnerable.
I commissioned a portrait from Shaylin, and something she said triggered the fuck out of me, because she said send. But the way she said it.
Oh no. See, I was never lucky enough to get it that easy. Oh my gosh.
And I was like, are you doing this on purpose? You fucking
that I find so antithetical to my morality to do that.
Are you fucking doing this on purpose? You fucking Shaylin. Are you did you say send on purpose like that? Did you fucking do that to me? That is uniquely. I was like, oof.
So is that like your
look at the vein? Look at the vein on my fucking forehead.
I know. Really, truly. So is your like your worst conception of an existence for yourself would be someone completely enraptured and lost in Findom, working relentlessly and just sending money, like living on the street? That is that your,
it's
like,
not the worst
worst
existence. No, but the thing is that is an extreme of the archetypal within our current society, not like a traditional, within our current society. That is the extreme.
We view sugar daddies as Findom.
That is the extreme of
in a way, it's almost
that is the extreme of what it means to be a man. That is what it means to be a man. Most financial purchasing choices these days are made by women, so they market everything to women. All the furniture you buy, all the housework you do, all the fucking knickknacks around your house, all the food you
fucking backbone.
No, it's not that they don't have a backbone. It's that they feel accomplished because they've competed and they've won a woman. And so all of my work, all of my money has come to this. I finally deserve to have a woman spend my fucking money.
I just don't think that's. I mean, I'm not a guy, but I do know a lot of guys, and
they don't think that consciously.
Find that to be very representative of
any
male
that's not
experience that I've encountered
that's
in
because,
IRL.
That's because nobody.
Only on the deepest corners of the internet.
You don't know what the fuck I'm talking. I'm not saying that men think this consciously. I'm saying that men. That is what it means to be a man, and men resent it when you tell them about it, because it's their reality. If you bring it up to men, they'd be like, "Fuck!"
I just think I view everything as like from like an evolutionary lens. Like, yes,
exactly. Evolutionarily, it is what we're doing, because we're the small gametes. We have to compete, and so so if we go if we go evolutionarily, then rape is natural. Rape is as natural as competition is amongst men. So they're like basically the same, two sides of the same coin. Rape and male competition. So I think if we're gonna protect a society from one, we have to protect the society from the other one, and we're not. So the way women rape men is still living stronger than ever.
Women rape men by forcing them to have sex with them, not by.
I don't mean literal
engaging in a fetish and role play that happens to involve the transaction of money.
My affection to you is completely transactional, because you got to compete.
It's not an ideal or good scenario,
it's
but I
woman
just
rape.
don't view
It's
as something
rape.
we could ever possibly legislate in a productive way. Usually,
Findom's
most
legal.
legislation around sex work completely backfires. Like, you have to think it through, man. Like,
Just because
there are like other unintended consequences and stuff to like.
This is not something where there's going to be sex fucking. There's not going to be fucking like human trafficking. This is not the repercussions are not going to be human trafficking. This like I hate the argument. This like fucking I hate this argument. They do it everywhere. Like, oh, it's just if you legislate, if you make that illegal, well, people will do it anyway. So there's no point in making it illegal. Just fucking make it illegal, you fucking pussy.
I'm saying that it would be completely impractical to write a law legislating the amount of money and the context in which men are allowed to give women
sex work
money.
Is already illegal.
Because that's what that is.
You can easily like no matter how you
legislate a law that
no matter how you legislate it, you can always work around it. You can always say so like I'm not you're not findoming me. I'm just paying for you to do a blink 3 times. I'm paying you $5,000 to blink 3 times. Okay, like I wasn't findoming you. I was paying for you to fucking blink. You could try to work your way around it, but
yeah. So that's why
but in fact,
really
a lot of
talk about legislating it.
No, but in fact, a lot of laws are not so retarded.
Unless you're just saying it to show like how strong your conviction is.
If you watch, because I love the show Saul Goodman. Better Call Saul.
Oh, Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. Yeah. Okay, that show is not even that bad, but if like shows like that and worse than that, you'll get this impression of law like it's like, oh, Simon didn't say like it's you're like, oh, by the letter of the law, technically no, and like a real court of law, like if you were to legislate against Findom and you're like, oh, I paid her to blink 3 times, they're gonna be like, okay, nope. We don't. That's not gonna go. They have wiggle room, and they're not gonna be retarded.
So, what do you think the consequence should be? Jail?
No, it just should be
the government then financially dominate the woman
absolutely not
money with a fine.
Absolutely not jail. I think that it should just be something that we prevent at all costs. So if there are like on Twitter, it should not be allowed to be like a big thing on like you should not be allowed to be advertising it. If you're advertising it, it should be hard for men to come in contact with this, because I see it all the time now, and I'm not even looking for it.
Like with the same way gambling is regulated. So I would be in support. I do think that these platforms that are often all ages are completely saturated with porn and adult themed content, and it's wildly damaging and inappropriate. So I fully support having some regulations, around that.
You keep saying wildly damaging. Tell me what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
Legislating around porn has been wildly damaging.
Legislating anything around sex work is wildly damaging to the sex workers and the Johns themselves. What you're doing is you're just penalizing a behavior that people are going to engage in no matter what. And I get it. That's not a good argument for laws overall. But I was going to take that somewhere else, and I just forgot now. So.
Yeah, I think you think you were going to take it somewhere else, but I don't even think.
No, I literally do think I was going to take it somewhere else, but I told you I smoked weed this morning when I woke up, and I'm a little sick. So.
Okay, I got 2 comments I'm gonna read. One of them. Porn makes peaceful men. Another comment. Peaceful men? Porn makes peaceful men.
That could also be true. Very well. I'm not sure, but
another comment.
I do think that vice serves a purpose in society.
Continue this discussion until Smeth is a skeleton.
It's like the opposite of feederism.
Yeah, you're sucking the life out of me just like a Findom sucks the life out of me.
See, they never really change. Just doing the same shit.
Yeah. SSDD, give me that credit card, BB.
It's on its way, baby. I've actually thought about being a sugar mom. I think that would be fun, hononestly. It makes them feel powerful. Like I would love to take a guy out and like treat them and give them money. Like I don't know, but I probably have a different relationship with money where it seems more frivolous because I've had $1 million just poof, get it, lose it, get it, lose it, get it, lose it, because I was always
like a black
spending
person.
Such a huge amount of money on drugs that my perception of money is probably warped in how I I freely give it away because I think as long as I have food and shelter and cigarettes, I just don't.
So
care too
someone
much
like
about
you
that.
if you were a man, you would be seriously at risk for Findom, and you need to be protected from it at all costs.
All right, so I can get down with it's not good for society. I think we should discourage it. I think that even we could go so far as to pressure platforms like X to have more reasonable restrictions because it is completely saturated in spam bots and porn, just like general temptation. And I do think it should be just as if it was a bunch of like gambling advertisements.
I feel like kids might learn about Findom before they even learn about sex.
That's a very real thing that I'm sure has happened at least once. Like at least once in humanity, there's been a child who knew what Findom was before he knew what
they will
sex
think
was.
that a pussy is where you put a place where you
Imagine
insert your credit card.
And he's just like, cash out, send, cash out.
A pussy it must have a chip reader in it for a credit card, is what they'll think.
Yes.
You know.
That's true, Findom. All right, what else? Any other topics weighing on your mind?
The men. Findom is basically the it's the embodiment of the social thing, but it's also just hatred of men. It's men that hate themselves and women that hate men. A lot of times.
I do think in sex work, women do, by the nature of the work, develop a lot of resentment towards men.
That's why I love Charlotte Sartor, because you can tell she is my favorite porn star, because you can tell that she is so fucked up or whatever the fuck. I don't know what is wrong with her, but she absolutely loves men, and she loves doing what she's doing. Like,
see, I believe those people exist. They're just
they
the
do,
absolute
but I
minority.
feel bad. I feel bad for her too, because she's being exploited. But
that's the
you can see
moving
it
through life is a process of being exploited and exploiting others in a way that's mutually beneficial. You know, we're always going to be renegotiating those contracts with each other subconsciously or consciously.
Yeah.
But I think we found a good solution to the Findom. I would support because I fully support things always being 100% consensual. Especially like any clients I had, I would routinely check in. Is this okay? So we're doing okay. Is this hurting you? Blah, blah, blah. I think in that scenario, if someone is being like that, and then the Findom signs document that's like at any point you can retract from this and like refund or whatever. I think that could be like a good compromise for it to always be perfectly consensual. The only obstacle it would present is if it was like a broke Findom who wouldn't be able to actually reimburse. But most professional Findoms
I feel like a
money.
lot of the women that are doing it will be doing it for some money, and so their ability to actually even engage ethically is gonna be, they're gonna have it's their job. They need you to fucking send. You know what I mean? You just fuck no.
Well, now I know how to instantly trigger you.
You like fucking Fruit Loops? No, it's fucking store brand cornflakes. Give me my fucking money because I need to pay my fucking rent.
Send now. But I'm retired from the industry.
I'm retarded. I'm retarded from the industry.
I would not encourage any young woman to ever. The
Have
whole
sex with
purpose
Smeth.
of my channel is to be, don't do what I did in any way, ever. Whatever I do the opposite of, and you'll have a fulfilling, happy life. I have a fulfilling, happy life anyway because I'm a lucky bitch. But it couldn't have, I just got lucky in that way. I did nothing to deserve anything.
Yeah. I don't know what you did, but you seem chill enough.
Thank you. You too. Well, on that note, do you want to maybe wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Yeah.
Tidy up the place.
So you go by
Go smoke some more weed.
RubySpacek.
Write paragraphs to a bunch of strangers.
RubySpacek.
It's Spacek. Ruby's my mom's dog name. It's Spacek, like Sissy Spacek. I was in a big Carrie phase at the time. But for a while, people were like, look, she's Carrie Spacek's daughter. She's not even acknowledging it. It's like, Get a clue, bitch.
Oh, I thought you're not. So, SpaceK. It's not Space
Yes.
K. Space Spacek. It's Spacek.
SpaceK, yes.
Well,
And
if you use the E for
Smeth.
the space, then it can't be ek. Space.
Spacek.
Fine, it can be however you want. It's RubySpacek.
I think it's a fine name. I actually thought about it
Good.
with some detail because I was like, I wanted something that'd be Googleable and original sounding, but also not really sounding too much like a stupid name. So, what is Smeth?
It's just Seth with an M in it, baby.
Oh, nice.
Welcome to this Smeth den.
This is Smeth then.
This place you
All
should
right.
never
Well,
be.
I'm gonna hit end stream on my end.
All right.
So goodbye to my stream.
All right. You're still on my stream.
I figured that much.
I'm going to. Oh, I want to stop talking to you, and then I want to do like an outro.
Okay.
Okay.
Kicking me off?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
no, it's a nice conversation. I appreciate you making the time, and also for holding me to account because I was gonna pitch out at the last minute. But I thought it was a nice convo.
Well, I appreciate you not doing that because I spend a lot of time getting ready.
That's why I asked you because I was like, if this is something, like if you were just gonna turn it on, it was like a non-issue, you know, I was gonna be like, maybe a different day. But if it was anything that would inconvenience you, I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, like all the sound effects and music and the lighting, and I set that all up every single fucking. I got the whatever this is in the, in the back here.
Yeah, no, I spaced out a couple times, but I wasn't super as completely brain dead, so I thought there was some fun combo in there.
Okay, have a good day. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
How do I fucking leave? How do I leave? There we go. Oh, it's a little bit spooky in here. A little bit spooky. Well, it sounds a little spooky in here. It sounds spooky. But you know what's more spooky than that? You know what's more spooky than Findom? You know what's more spooky than sitting on the floor in your apartment with no furniture, clicking that fucking send button so you can give Shaylin another $500. Eventually, it's gonna get that bad. And then you're gonna die. But you know what? Start from the bottom, now I'm here. I start here and I get to the bottom. It's fucking life. But guess what? I don't fucking know, but you know what I'm saying. What you just do is just wear a fucking. Don't do the Findom, and then get it a bit liver. You know when I'm gonna give you a fucking flashback. I'm gonna give you a flashback to fucking. I'm gonna give you a flashback to fucking early 2000. Unit. Haven't heard that for a long time, huh? I'm giving them out, giving you them flashbacks, them nostalgia. I remember the kids saying that in the fucking kindergarten playground. Unit. Anyway, I want to tell you a story about a long-term sex kink, that thing that I did that was so fucking fun. Here's an idea for it. Maybe I shouldn't tell you this. Okay, what I did, so me and my partner, many years ago, we both created Instagram accounts for the other person. And we both had control over these Instagram accounts. We would give each other assignments. I want you to take a picture of yourself doing this. And we would do them for each other, and then we would post it. And we would gather, like, kink goomers as an audience. And so she got the experience of being a kinky dude on the internet. She got that experience, and I got the experience of being a kinky girl on the internet. And you know what? That was so fucking fun. It was so fun to talk to people as if I was a fucking slutty, kinky girl. People, all the girl power. Oh, all the support and the love. The support and the love that I felt when I was her was so... It just filled me up. It's a very fun and illuminating experience. And fun sexually too. And it was exciting. So there's your fun lifestyle fun kink idea. It's almost as if you should have transitioned. It's not too late. Yeah, it's never too late. I'm never more than 5 feet away from a knife at all times. I can fucking cut it off, and I can cut this fucking stream off too. I can cut you off. And I will cut you off. Yeah. See you next time, Smeth has.